if we talk about personality, Cass, I don't know if this will resonate with you. So people tend to see some of the distinctions between modern women and a traditional woman. Traditional women were typically seen as being a little bit more feminine in the approach. They would expect you as a guy to approach them, have a conversation. Modern women tend to be viewed, in what I've heard, a little bit more forward, potentially have a little bit more masculine traits. Does that resonate with what you've seen, or is that a little bit more far off? In terms of more the personality type.
Can I start off by saying, with that question, it's good. So I actually don't know how men view modern women. Well, with the term, it's the terminology, right? This one, modern women, but with women being more forward, yes, but it depends on your circle as well.
Okay.
So I don't think my circle are forward women, but I know forward women exist. I've also got 3 brothers, so I also know what my brothers, and they've got friends and how they perceive being approached by women. There's some men that love that.
There's brothers out here that are really on that, Miki.
Yeah, there's some brothers out there.
Yeah.
Okay. They're trying to get proposed to.
It's maybe not proposed to.
That's too much.
And it
That's
works.
a bit too much.
I mean, I cannot advocate for that. like, no one should be proposing to me.
Okay, but
I will smack the ring out of her.
But we're talking about different personality types here. So a woman that will come to a bar and approach you. I like you, Miki. What's your phone number? That type of direct.
Now, see, I would versus shooting her shot.
Shooting her shot. No.
So it's shooting their shot. And so, can we also? Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you guys like modern women? What are your thoughts on modern women?
All right. So I was raised by my mum, single woman, and for me, she was both a traditional woman and a modern woman because, like, she had to deal with what she was experiencing at that point in time. She had to both be a mum and a dad. She had to make sure food was on the table. She had to make sure all these bills were being paid. She had to be everything. So when you say modern woman to me, I kind of think independent woman. And there's something I like about that. I like a woman that has some drive. I like a woman that wants to not necessarily provide for the family, but wants to create some avenues for herself, create some lanes for herself, and is a kind of a go-getter. So a modern woman is someone that has visions, has goals, has dreams, and is trying to achieve those things. Hopefully that answers the question. Does that not answer the question?
Yeah, it resonates with me.
You know, I'm a little bit out there because of, where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
If my dad was about, then maybe she would have been a lot more traditional and stayed at home, but she was not given that opportunity to. Am I going a little bit off?
No, it resonates with me because I came from, like, you asked the same question you asked me, because I came from what I consider to be a traditional home, right? When I think about modern woman, modern man, traditional woman, traditional man, it's all about the value system. So for me, a traditional man has always been the man that puts his family first in terms of provision for the family. And a modern woman for me is always a woman who prioritizes the family's well-being, husband, wife, and children. She can still have her own business avenues. In fact, I love a woman who actually has a drive to do that, but her first priority is always the family first. What I see in the world that we're in, if we're talking about modern women, is that the priority is not necessarily the family first.
Yeah.
The priority could be her career. The priority could be her business. The priority is really her. So that's the distinction that I see between the modern woman versus the traditional woman. And being a traditional man, I gravitate more towards a traditional woman because her priority first is the family. That's the distinction that I see between the two.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like that.
Oh gosh!
So we're throwing it out there. We're turning over the table.
So I'm gonna come back to you, Christian. I don't forget. So with Miki, it's also that you admire what your mom did because she had to do it.
Yeah.
So you like hybrid. It's a bit of a, but then you wouldn't want. No, actually, I'm not saying what you wouldn't. what you want and wouldn't want. But then would you want a woman that had all those qualities, but it was now above what you wanted to do in the house? So for example, she was able to still have her own avenues, still be a go-getter. Because I think there's a lot that comes with someone being a go-getter within a marriage as well. I've never been married. But would it then, so how does vision work in this stance? How would it work?
The way I see vision in my household, I would have a vision. My wife, in a sense, being a traditionalist and a modern woman, would support that vision. So she would also have her vision. Her vision now falls under submission to my vision. So we're both aiming for both visions to be accomplished and to flourish for our family's sake, if that makes sense, kind of thing. So it's a tradition.
So
the household.
Modern woman, because I really want to get, I think the terminologies, because it doesn't sound. So is modern woman being someone that isn't just about being at home? Are you guys considering modern women people that have drive? Because that's almost what it sounds like.
Yeah, so I don't know what
Because that sounds like a good woman. Like the woman you're describing, someone that's
yeah, but you know, there's not many of those out there. I think the modern woman has a negative connotation to it because it's about well, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, they're about themselves.
Thank you.
They're about providing for themselves, doing for themselves, everything for themselves. It's the independent woman that's focused solely on hers and not necessarily building a family, not necessarily submitting to marriage or to a man, or to a man that's submitted under God, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So good women, they are out there that are modernized, they are out there, but there's this trope right now in society that it's all about the woman just doing her thing, growing her vision, growing her account, going after her career goals, and not necessarily wanting to commit to a man or commit to building something with a man, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So that makes complete sense.
Cool.
To myself, prior to a woman being in a relationship, right? So I'm gonna go back to what you said actually. So you mentioned that in your household you come from the traditional side of things, where your mum puts family first. But prior to being married, what is a woman meant to focus on? Because it's good to focus on family within a marriage. Prior to getting into a marriage, I do believe in you should be becoming better, right? But I do think it's important to be educating yourself as a woman and to be maximizing on your goals and also maximizing who you are as a person, so that when you get with somebody, then you can now merge that together. But as a woman, it's also us to do due diligence to be able to submit to a man. So I think I feel like what is happening is with men, they're being selective with what they like within a modern woman. That's why I really the whole term.
So say more on that.
So for example, when you spoke about Miki spoke about someone approaching at the bar, and you saw it as shooting her shot, which is not negative, right?
I wouldn't see it as negative.
But that's a modern woman. And so it's almost like men are selective with what they will accept and won't accept. But you will accept that because it feels nice. It's nice. That's a good part of being a modern woman. Whereas back in the day, it's like, no. A man is the one that approaches a woman.